All right, welcome everybody. Welcome back to season 5 of Mind Over Music. I'm your host, Sean Ali Molodina. Such an honor to have a very special guest on my show tonight. This is the National Director of Refugee Services for ICNA Relief. Ms. Hala Halebi is on our show tonight. Hala, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for inviting me, Sean. Thank you.
Yes, and it's such a special month. It's our holy month of Ramadan. And, Radio Zad is doing everything that we can to not only bring awareness, but to actually impact the lives of our listeners, our South Asian community, the greater Muslim community in general. And it's such an honor to have you on the show tonight.
Thank you.
So I want to start off by kind of reviewing through what ICNA Relief really does. I mean, this is an incredible refugee, assistance, nonprofit, non-governmental institution that partners with the government to be assigned refugees from all over the world. It's not just Muslims, it's everybody. And, the services that you guys provide is incredible. It goes from everything from providing furniture to doing certain paperwork so that they can get enabled to have employment. Let's talk through some of the hardships, some of the challenges that we're having, and also the rewarding aspect of what ICNA Relief does.
So as you know, Alhamdulillah, we're the first Muslim resettlement agency doing this work under the federal to sponsor and take care of the refugees. So basically, the government assigned those family to us before they arrive, and then we pick them from the airport, finding apartment, furnishing the apartment, and then take care of the family as our own family, applying for their application, SNAP application, food stamp, Medicaid, enrolling kids at school, and then enrolling the parents in the English classes, computer classes, building resumes, and then placing them in jobs. So the end goal of those family is to be self-sufficient, and
Yes.
this is how we work throughout these, like the journey with them to be self-sufficient.
Yeah. And this is such a rewarding and incredible program. I think as refugees, which most of us are, or we are first generation into the United States. I think we all wish that we had these types of services, a community that we can come in where, previously we might not really know the culture, the language, the nuances, the American way of life. And to have a nonprofit organization that comes in and supports, helps put food on the table initially. These are the toughest times. The first few months, sometimes the first few years of being an American citizen and transitioning to the country is the most difficult. So it's not just, you transfer over and then you have the keys to the kingdom, to the promised land. There's so many things that we don't know. And so for ICNA Relief to come in and really help these families become stabilized is probably one of the most important and rewarding things that we could do.
It's not, it's, yeah, as I said, it's not easy for those people to come to new environment, to new country, new culture. Everything is new for them, right? So many barriers, as you mentioned. The language is a barrier, transportation is a barrier, the culture shock is a barrier, so many different things. And those people, they come with big bag of problems that we need to sort it out. We need to solve it for them one by one. And it starts with a smile of the face of the caseworker. I mean, just welcoming them in the airport, like, hey, don't worry, we're here for you. And we're
Yes.
gonna stand together. We're gonna stay with you until you are on your own. And they know, they trust that when they come to us, we're here for them. And this is the end goal, just like we want them to feel that they have family, they have someone to support them. They're not on by themselves here.
Yeah, it's always that one person, that one family, that one organization that comes in and just makes you believe in the kindness of humanity when you are in such a dire situation. A lot of these refugees are coming from refugee camps. They're coming from war-torn or political situations that didn't allow them to be there anymore. We know the situations not only in Rohingya and Syria, but even Guatemala and people that
Yeah.
are on the border. So it's incredible work. The way that ICNA Relief works, from my understanding, is you guys are assigned the fiscal year, the calendar year ends in October every year for the federal government to assign you these families and these individuals. And you are getting an inundated number of refugees, both that are placed in the US already and others that are coming from out of the country. About 700 that are coming out of the country and about 2,500 that are here in the US that you are continuously supporting. And that number is given to you in October. And as we all know, with Doge, with the executive orders that the current administration is kind of running through, the funding for ICNA relief was halted on January 24th. What is the path forward? You know, it's more dire now than ever before that these families get the help that they need. What is the path forward, and how are we responding as a nonprofit organization?
So, Sean, I don't want to tell you the shock when I read this email on 24th of January, the stop work order. It took me hours just to understand what does that mean. What stop work order? Like we know, I mean, they're going to slow down on bringing refugees, but we did not imagine ever that they're going to pause the access for the resettlement agency to access the client fund for the client that who are already arrived. So basically, as you mentioned, we've been assigned 700 clients. We received 300 of the 700 in the first quarter.
Yep.
So almost 50% of our allocation we received in this year and these first quarters. So basically in January, we used to go to the airport 4 times per day to bring family, 4 families per day we received. So you can imagine the number. So when we received this order, some of those families, they've been already still in hotels. We did not move them to their own apartment. And then the shock is, hey, you know what? We don't have access to the fund for those families. Like, what can we do now? They are here, family with 5 kids, 6 kids, disabled parents, a lot of single mothers, and then we need to come up with something. So we reach out to the to ICNA Relief leadership, say we need to find a solution for those family. We try to place everybody in apartments. We put the furniture, we put everything, but now the situation is what's about the February rent. I'm not talking about March rent. I'm talking about February rent that Sean, we weren't able to pay for majority of those families. March is here. And now we are receiving from the client eviction notice after eviction notice after eviction notice. So this is
Yeah, and this is such a tough, situation. And so, when we think about how important it is that we respond immediately, I would also, encourage our listeners to really understand dire need of getting money as soon as possible, so that these families aren't evicted from their homes, that they have food and they have food security, that they have food at the table. A lot of these students, a lot of these children are students. They're going to be impacted. Their education is going to be impacted on top of all the other social, interactions and pressures that are happening in their social life. They now have to go home and they don't know where their next meal is coming from or whether they even have a home. So it is so important for our listeners to kind of understand and empathize with this situation. When we think about, sadaqahs, when we think about, the zakat that we are giving every year, I think it's so important that it's not only something that we're passionate about, but something that can actually go to work, money that can go to work immediately. And I think that this is one of those situations where the funding is needed absolutely as soon as possible.
definitely just Sean, just I wanted to inform the and just also to mention that it's now we're trying to prevent a bigger problem.
Yes.
We're paying the rent right now and keeping those people in their apartment while we are trying to place them in jobs. Hopefully, within the next few weeks, they'll be able to pay their own rents. It's gonna be way better than waiting, and those people will become like homeless. And now the problem is way bigger than just keeping them in their apartments. So the cost will be way bigger if they are homeless, and then we need to replace them in apartments. So now saving this problem while we are trying to place everyone in jobs, putting them in English classes, trying to help them to be self-sufficient, but saving the situation now is very crucial. How we have a disaster, like in a natural disaster, this is a human disaster is happening, and we need to respond to these disasters immediately
Yes.
to save those people. And just like, we received a case, Sean, 2 days ago, a single mother with her elderly mom and a 14 years old boy. When the mother heard about the news, she had a heart attack.
Oh, wow.
So scared, and then they received the eviction notice, so she had a heart attack, so we moved her to the hospital. But now the mother with the kids, they came to the office crying. They said, we're going to be homeless and we're going to lose our mom in the hospital because of this, like, situation. Just like having these mothers, single mothers, standing by my door. As a human, I'm not going to tell, like, you know what, it's not my problem, it is the government, just stop your fund. it is the government stop the fund, but as a human, I need to take an action.
Yes.
I need to do something to that. Another disabled family, a Syrian family, they reach out to us today that the father is disabled. The mother has 4 kids. So we're trying to find a way on how we can keep these family safe. We want to save them, but we need to fill the gap. There is a gap now that we need to fill in to support those families, and then we need to take care of our brothers and sisters. I have a lot of successful story that just they need a hand. They need just someone to say, here, I know you're struggling. We're here for you, and you're going to be you everything's gonna be okay.
Yeah. Well, Hala, I would love to bring you back on the show, and you know, we'll talk more so also about the positive stories in a future episode. But thank you so much for this time. I think that, you know, our refugee crisis is becoming a humanitarian crisis in the United States, and we have to do everything that we can to prevent that.
Definitely, definitely. As a community, we need to come together now more than ever to save those people and just to stand by their side and just keep, I mean, save them from homelessness because this is not what this is not what they are here. They are here
Yeah, they
for a
didn't, yeah, they didn't
future.
come work so hard to become a refugee just to be on the streets in the
Yeah,
United States and be homeless. And it's also a reflection of us as American citizens, as taxpayers, people who contribute to this
yeah.
country, to ensure that we protect everyone, especially those who we're giving a chance to be a part of our greater society.
We need
For
to
more
keep in
information,
mind, yeah, sorry, Sean, we need to keep in mind some of those people, some of those kids, they've been all their life in camps. This is the first time they have homes.
yeah,
And just again to send them to the street, this is not what this is not what we promised them as American.
I agree.
Not
I
what we
agree.
promised them as American.
Well, Hala, thank you so much for being on the show tonight. For more information, please visit icnarelief.org and join us in next week for our radiothon, where we'll be taking pledges live. Hala, thank you so much for being on our show.
Thank you for having me, and I really appreciate your time. Thank you, Sean.
All right. Thank you, Hala.
Thank you.